Well, as most of you will know, Jane Clarke is retiring. And as this is Jane's last summit, we thought it would be reminiscent not to let Jane say a few words, some reflections on her time at CIMM and the enormous changes that she's overseen during her tenure at the organization. So I'm going to hand over to Jane, and then we may have a few words from another guest as well. So Jane, over to you.
Hey, thanks, John, and thanks to all of you for attending this year's summit. And I also need to shout out a special thanks to my colleague since the beginning of CIMM, Marzina Delgaudio, who runs the summit from behind the scenes, as well as running a lot of other aspects of CIMM. I'll definitely miss her smiling face every day. And also one other just special shout out to CIMM's great PR partners, Bill and Sarah at Dottie Brand Communications. They are really a part of the CIMM team. So as John just said, I'm retiring at the close of business tomorrow. And you may think this has been the longest goodbye ever since my retirement was announced last November. But we wanted to make sure that there was a smooth transition to new management. And I think you can see that you're in very good hands with John here. And now many people have asked me, though, why I'm retiring now, just when alternative measurement solutions are finally getting traction in the marketplace. And I have to say that this is why I can leave now. I do feel as if, my role has been fulfilled at CIMM, which was to encourage competition and innovation and to get the market to test new measurement solutions. Now that the networks and the agencies are seriously evaluating alternative providers, now that Nielsen is finally building a new system for the era of streaming content and addressable advertising, I do feel that something major has been accomplished by CIMM and its members. For the past 12 years, the alternative measurement providers have been building their products and supporting their growth through revenue streams from attribution and other businesses such as ad verification. While it seemed as if the industry was stuck in the inertia of not wanting to change measurement until they absolutely had to, innovation has been occurring in the background, so that solutions could be ready for this moment. So, I hope that the industry will continue to collaborate on measurement that works for both content, for ads, for both buyers and sellers, across digital natives and TV natives, across all the walled gardens of data owners. We all know that when partisan proprietary interests of specific companies or groups of companies take precedence over creating mutually beneficial solutions, everyone loses, and change is just delayed but not avoided. So when all sides can come together and honestly collaborate on shared knowledge and common interests, everyone wins and all boats rise. You may think this sounds a little Pollyanna-ish, but I've actually seen that it works. Excessive partisanship only creates unnecessary friction and delays. So now solutions for converged TV measurement are moving into a new phase of testing, refining, auditing, and accrediting. As John said in his opening remarks yesterday, CIMM has a key role to play in bringing all sides together to support education, transparency, and accreditation. But I'm going to turn this next set of challenges, over to the rest of you. So thanks to all the CIMM members who've supported CIMM over the past 12 years since its inception. It's been a privilege for me to have worked with the smartest people in the industry. And final thanks to my boss, Scott McDonald, for all his support since CIMM has become part of the ARF. So best wishes to all of you, and know that I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines. So I think I'm turning this back over to John or to Scott. I think Scott wants to say something here. You can't get away without Scott saying something.
Exactly. So Jane, thank you for that. And yeah, we can't quite let Jane walk off without some very special words of thanks. Many of you might know that it's been my privilege to work with Jane, not just these past 4 years since CIMM came into the ARF, but in different ways across literally 40 years. Yep, it was back in 1983 that Jane and I first worked together, establishing the first consumer research and insights function within Time Inc. Jane coming in from Children's Television Workshop, and me coming in from the publisher's office at Time Magazine. And even from those early days, it was an extraordinary collaboration. I've always learned from Jane, admired her intellect, her collegiality, and her empathy. And of course, as we fast forward into the CIMM years, she's not only built on those great assets, but she's brought to her these assets from her corporate jobs at Time Warner, but she's also gone on to demonstrate a level of industry leadership that I think has been an inspiration to us all. But you don't have to take my word for it. I've asked a few of her colleagues to pen a few thoughts on this occasion, and their few words speak volumes. So Colleen Fahey-Rush writes, Jane, I'm so happy as you cruise into your much-deserved retirement. Your leadership of CIMM and impact on the measurement landscape in the past decade has been tremendous. We are indebted to you. Enjoy this next chapter. Barad Ramesh at Group M writes, I have only known Jane for a year, but in that time I've been impressed by her knowledge, relationships, and wisdom in navigating the tricky waters of measurement for the industry. I found myself leaning on her for a quick word when I need to clear my head amidst the swirl on this topic, and she's proven invaluable to me in introducing me to the various partners in the measurement ecosystem. I will miss her. Alice Sylvester writes, my friend Jane is tenacious, open, friendly, fair, interesting, and crazy smart. Jane was in exactly the right spot at the right time when she began leading CIMM. She listens and has an almost intuitive sense of industry needs. She never met a measurement or technology challenge she couldn't wrestle to the ground. To this day, I'm awed by her command of complicated details. Jane is extremely well connected, but more importantly, she created a community of television researchers, encouraged open sharing, funded groundbreaking research, and supported innovation. She took risks, and it's been an honor working with her all these years, and I will miss her steady, unflappable leadership. Jim Spaeth adds, Jane epitomizes leadership. Jane has great vision and can see multiple end games down the road, enabling her to subtly steer the industry in a healthy direction. Jane is a great communicator, making clear the complex. Jane is persuasive. She always starts with a profound understanding of your perspectives, constraints, and needs. Jane always works to the benefit of the industry, rallying all factions for the win-win. And with all that, she is still the nicest person you'll ever work with. And finally, Josh Chasen adds that since CIMM's inception, Jane has worked tirelessly to bring the art and the science of cross-platform audience measurement forward, hurting an awful lot of cats in the process. The accomplishments of CIMM are too numerous to mention: lexicons, standards, taxonomies, shared assets, measurement innovations. She's done it all with style and grace and a smile on her face. She leaves this organization in outstanding shape with a robust and active membership and an ambitious agenda. And yet perhaps her greatest contribution to this complicated and ever-changing space has been the warmth and humanity she brings to it. She's beloved. I shall miss her terribly, and I hope we still will have occasion to go out for an Impossible Burger every now and again. So I could not agree more with all of these industry luminaries. Jane has helped to bring transparency and light, illumination to some of the toughest problems in media and advertising research. She has led this sometimes fractious coalition with intelligence, poise, and humanity. She goes with our thanks and our gratitude and the assurance of friendship that has no expiration date. So please join me in a round of Zoom applause for the incomparable Jane Clarke.
Thank you guys so much. Wow. I'm really embarrassed, and I could probably just start to cry. So anyway, really appreciate it. Really sweet of you all. Thank you. I think we're over to John to do the final close.
That's right.
Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye. See you later.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Scott. Not a dry eye in the house, I suspect. Thank you to everybody for a fantastic 2 days of debate and discussion. I hope it's been useful. I'm incredibly excited about stepping into Jane's enormous shoes, metaphorically, and to working with all of you, the CIMM members, to address some of the big challenges that lie ahead. It's going to be a really exciting year. Thank you to everyone who attended this year's summit. All the videos and presentations will be posted to the CIMM website as soon as they're available. A massive thank you to Marzena, the power behind the throne, the Daddy team, Bill and Sarah, and to Dahlia, our fantastic production partners. We're going to be making some big announcements about CIMM's plans and priorities in March. And we'll also be announcing the lineup for our March members event shortly, which is going to be a really big session. So do please join us then. And in the meantime, the only thing left for me to say is that is a wrap. Thank you.